Well, what do you know? How about that? No sign of Randomland, but the Route 66 made it almost 24 hours. See that, you guys? Even taggers like Route 66. Welcome back to Amarillo. There's a freezing cold wind blasting across the Texas plains out here. And it's funny because it looks so sunny and warm, but everyone is complaining about the cold. I had planned on spending the day outdoors checking out Amarillo's Route 66. But given the wind and the temperature today, and the fact that I'm still sort of struggling with the gnarly cold, I think maybe it's best that I find some indoor activities. But first, I'm gonna drive all the way across the city on old Route 66 and see what I can see. Like many other towns on old Route 66, Amarillo has multiple paths of 66 through town. As the towns grew, they kept having to move the highway away from traffic. You know, I've never been through downtown Amarillo. I've always gone through on the interstate. I gotta say, it's a pretty cool looking place. There's little Route 66 signs everywhere. Historic 6th Street in Amarillo. Lots of cool old gas stations in town and some pretty weird bars. There's a clown-themed bar right there. Clowns. All right, I've driven from one side of Amarillo all the way to the other now. Route 66 in Amarillo, achieved. Hopefully I'll get a closer look at the town on my way back towards Los Angeles on a warmer day. But for right now, I think I might have found a pretty good indoor activity. We have come to an RV dealership. Not because I'm gonna buy an RV or anything, don't worry. But because this isn't just any old RV dealership. This is Jack Sizemore's Travelland, and inside is something amazing. Would you look at this? It is the free, almost hidden in the back of this dealership, Travelland RV Museum. I had no idea what to expect when I walked in here, but I am blown away. Clearly there's way more than just RVs in here. Look at this vintage Harley bike, 1918, and there's a Harley Davidson bicycle, 1919. Now that's my kind of Harley. Whoa, check it out. It's the motorcycle that won the war, a World War II Harley Davidson. And check out this mock-up of an old A&W restaurant. Whoa, look at the prices. Hot dogs for 30 cents. Wow, how about that? Those fake burgers look good enough to eat. You know, I've seen an awful lot of car museums, especially on old Route 66. But this is the first time I've ever seen an RV museum. One of the most popular pastimes with early automobiles was to go auto camping. I mean, they weren't really practical to go town to town because there were no highways. So before paved roads and motels, since you were going out in the country anyway, why not make a camping trip of it? Looks like as early as 1923, people were trying to capitalize on the craze. This whole thing was designed to fit right onto your Model T. The Lampstead Camp Car, built by none other than Anheuser-Busch. Now that is weird. Looks like by the 1930s they figured out that if they stuck their camping area into a trailer, they could give themselves a little more room. This trailer was built in 1936, and according to the sign outside, until I came to the museum, it was just sitting in a barn just like this since 1955. It's never been restored. All original. Look at that. Old wooden cabinets there. There's your sleeping area. Nice little living quarters. But really, what weirds me out is look at the old stove. That's awesome. I picture the camping trailer being more of a 1950s thing, but here's another one from 1937. This one's called the Cozy Camp, and it really does look like a camping tent inside there. And here's one from 1941 that was used during World War II. Check this out. You don't think of people having trailers like this in the 1940s. It's kind of bizarre. This trailer was used for a defense workers' housing during the war. In the United States, of course. But still, it's a war veteran. And check out this picture over here. Signed by 17 U.S. presidents. This is a weird day. There's a lot of crazy stuff in here. Doesn't seem to be in any particular order. Look up there. There is a world traveling Airstream trailer. Over here, a heart-shaped picnic basket. I don't know if we should take that, Yogi. Here's a great license plate. Beer. I don't know what I was expecting to see in here, but not that. This this is more what I was expecting to see.
Would you look at the size of this place?
Check this out over here. It's the world's oldest Airstream.
I've always loved Airstream trailers. I mean, who doesn't?
Whenever I see one of these big classic style Airstream trailers going down the freeway,
I get insanely jealous. Of course, they are really expensive.
so I doubt I'll ever have one of my own.
But still, always been a fan. It's pretty weird to see the world's oldest Airstream.
This bad boy was built in 1935, and from the looks of the hat in there, it was owned by Teddy Roosevelt himself.
That's just a joke.
It's the Airstream Torpedo. How futuristic sounding was that name back then?
Due to the rarity of this bad boy, we can't actually go inside this one.
But it looks like we have our pick of plenty of others. How about that 50s Airstream? I've never actually been inside of one of these before. Wow, this one was built the same year Disneyland opened. 1955. That is awesome.
Oh, look at that old school refrigerator.
Oh, we got some I Love Lucy style sleeping arrangements going on back here.
I wonder if we can see the bathroom.
Ooh, how about that? Man,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I could see myself doing a thing or two in there.
it would be pretty darn cool to have one of these.
Ooh, here's a little Fleetwood trailer from 1953.
What impresses me about this museum is not just the fact that they have all these old trailers and RVs, but the way they've decked them all out with period props. Look at that old kettle there, and check out that old milk bottle. They even have an old Roy Rogers book in here. Whoa, some kid could have read this book in a trailer just like this. Perhaps even on a trip down Route 66. Now don't forget, this museum is at an RV dealership.
So not only do the people that run it love RVs,
But a lot of the visitors are people who own RVs that are getting them serviced or whatever.
so some of the people that I bumped into in here are really, really into it.
Check out this old Winnebago. Apparently, Jack Sizemore,
The guy who owns this whole place used to just own a gas station.
but he bought himself an RV much like this one.
And decided to start renting it out to other people.
And from that grew up his whole business.
Apparently, he's the longest running Winnebago dealership. Apparently now, this is the longest running Winnebago dealership in the state of Texas.
These things definitely are cool. It'd be pretty convenient to pull over, turn around, and be able to cook yourself some food.
Especially since I have dietary restrictions. I don't know. Can you picture me behind the wheel of one of these bad boys?
You can definitely tell that this one is from the 70s by how much orange there is.
I was born in the early 80s, so all through my early childhood, I feel like everything left over from the 70s was orange.
People back then were crazy about orange.
Orange and brown. Look at this.
Here's another camping trailer. This one is a 1973 Starcraft.
I once had a GMC Starcraft conversion van.
Wow, look at the color palette in here, huh? So much brown, and look, there's the orange.
There's a lot of green in this one too, which is really impressive, because it's not that easy being green.
This one's from 1976, and I love these huge bubble windows in the corners.
Oh, look at this one. It even has a name. The Spirit of 76.
Oh, wow. I really like the layout of this one. Check that out. Plenty of space everywhere. Big kitchen up in the front.
Dang. Some of these feel more like houses than trailers.
Which I realized right after those words left my mouth is kind of a dorky thing to say, because of course, that is the whole point.
Oh, this might be my favorite one.
As you all know by now, I love the 50s and 60s, and this is a 1960s trailer.
I totally love this funky blue color.
It's in the bathroom too. Look at the shower. What a color scheme. You know, this museum is free, and a lot of the pieces in it had crazy restorations, so this is simply here
Because the people that own this place are passionate about what they do.
which is something that I can really appreciate.
Check out this gargantuan beast behind me.
This old 1948 flexible bus was converted to an RV for the movie RV, starring Robin Williams.
I gotta be honest with you, I never saw that movie, but there's a scene on the bus right here outside of the bus.
That's crazy. This bus is a movie star.
Wow, check this out.
Even if you've never seen that movie, you've got to agree this is radical. The color scheme, the space.
This is one impressive vehicle. If I was traveling in something like this, I'd probably never stop.
I can see now why people live in old converted buses.
They are very, very roomy.
Look at how stylish this old bus was. We don't make anything like that anymore.
Awesome. This is where Jeff Daniels sat in the movie. Now I'm driving the bus.
Pretty sweet. Oh, check this out. I can watch the movie from the driver's seat.
I keep getting distracted by this movie.
I don't know why I never watched it before. It's pretty good.
Here we have a 1976 FMC.
Apparently that started out as the Food Machinery Corporation, and it was founded by a guy who invented an insecticide pump. By 1976, they were making classy, expensive RVs.
This one was owned by Max Factor Jr.
The sign outside says that Pat Boone owned one, Clint Eastwood owned one,
And it cost the same amount as the average home at the time.
which I guess is really no different than RVs today, huh?
RVs are a little too pricey for me. Not just the cost of the RV, but the cost of the gas. These things are gas guzzlers.
It's crazy that these things were on the road when these things were still on the road.
I can just picture Clint Eastwood pulling up to a four-way stop with one of these hippie buses on the other side at the same time, and he's looking at him, giving him the old stink eye. Make my day, hippie.
Man, I'm surprised how many Harleys are in this place.
It's a pretty cool way to kill a couple of hours. You have a movie star,
A whole bunch of Harleys, and here is the first ever Itasca. Serial number 1, prototype.
I'm not nerdy about RVs at all. I know very, very surprisingly little about them.
But it's definitely a lifestyle for a lot of people, so there are some people driving one of these bad boys today that are probably very interested in this.
I'm a lot more interested in this groovy upholstery.
Far out, man. Far out. This is kind of weird right here, having the John directly down the path of the hallway.
Maybe it's so you could have a seat here
And still tell people where to go.
while you go. Make sure to take that left up there. Now that's what I call backseat driving.
Man, all of these things are awesome. I don't know which one I would choose if I was given a choice.
Would I get a camper for the back of a pickup truck? Probably I would pull a trailer.
It seems like a trailer would really be the way to go, because then you could detach and cruise around town.
Honestly, if I had the money for a big RV, I'd probably rather do something like this.
And buy an old 40s or 50s car and then get a little dinky trailer.
I don't know about one exactly this small. I don't even know if I'd fit in that one.
But check out this little 1946 Teardrop trailer. Wouldn't that be cool? Roll out to the campground in this bad boy.
I could handle that kind of camping.
I love that they have their own old school filling station inside of the museum. Like I told you guys, Jack Sizemore, the guy who owns this place, started out with a small gas station.
Started renting out RVs so that he could own one.
And then apparently started Keystone Manufacturing with some other dealers.
Which is now the largest manufacturer of RVs in the world.
Which I guess allows them the freedom to have this giant RV museum and his own gas station again.
Bringing it around full circle.
Hey, check it out. It's those clear oil bottles we keep seeing everywhere. But these ones have oil inside of them. How about that? For only $12.85, you could get yourself some air conditioning.
I like the look of this 48 Ford.
White wall tires, sleek fenders. Whoa, check out that dashboard in there.
Pretty darn snazzy.
And last but not least, tons of RV and trailer toys. I love that movie.
Little Airstreams.
Hey, I saw one of those in a museum the other day on Route 66.
Okay, I guess that's as much procrastinating as I can do. Normally I'm so much more hyper and energetic, but this cold has really got to me.
I think I'm gonna cut it short today and go rest.
Goodbye, oldest Airstream trailer in the world.
Goodbye, weird Anheuser-Busch camping RV car thing.
Ooh, let me tell you, right about now I wish I could go to sleep in one of those RVs. Normally I'm like the Energizer Bunny. It's not very often that I run out of steam.
Well, I was getting ready to find a hotel and try to rest for the rest of the day, but it started to warm up outside. And I thought, you know what? Before you take a rest, why not go down the road and visit this guy?
Would you look at the size of that cowboy?
Whoa! Holy cowboy, Batman! Everything is bigger in Texas! Everybody meet Tex Randall. This is the biggest cowboy in the state of Texas, and until 1994 was the biggest Texan, period. He was built in 1950. 1959 to advertise a local Western wear store. Later, when US Highway 60 was moved from up here to down there, the Western store went out of business, but the big Cowboy remains. Restored once in the 80s and once very recently, this big old Cowboy no longer has actual cloth clothing, but he's still here on the side of the road, surviving into the 21st century. Oh man, I still don't feel good, but this guy's cheering me up. At one time, Tex here was not only the biggest Texan, but also the biggest Marlboro man. He used to have a cigarette in his fingers on his right hand, but these days, even the cowboys know that smoking is bad, okay? You know, this guy bears an uncanny resemblance, head shape-wise, to Hank Hill, don't you think? Just a little bit. Maybe if he had glasses.
Hey there, Bobby. What you doing? Playing a video game?
Okay. Gosh, I missed that show. Elsewhere in Texas, they have an even taller statue of Sam Houston. So like I said, he's no longer the biggest Texan, but Sam Houston wasn't a cowboy like this. So Tex Randall, still the tallest cowboy in the state. He looks a lot like Woody from Toy Story, too. There's a snake in my boot. Gottly, bye bowdy. What a big old cowboy. Boy, he's in a weird position. Ugh, I know those feels. He's got to get a good chiropractor. Yes, sirree, Bob. I love me a roadside giant. What in the world is that back there in his pocket? Something circular in the pocket, huh? Oh, I see. He switched to chewing tobacco. That's cheating, Tex. Look at this. I just love Texas so much. Look at that lovable face. How can you not love this guy? You know, seeing that is really making me want to own a pair of cowboy boots. Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, excuse me. Do you know where I can get some cowboy boots? No? Oh, I'm sorry. Just that I'm a stranger around here and I needed some boots. I just wanted some boots. Wait a minute. What's that down there? Nope. That's just a big pair of feet. Looks like they didn't know where to find any cowboy boots either. That's all right. I guess I'll stick with my current kicks. After all, at least I have shoes and a body. That is something to be grateful for. I just pulled over to check my phone, you know, because I don't want to use the phone while I'm driving. And I was just about to look for a hotel room and give up my search when I found this. Oh, wow. Now that's a cowboy boot. I got some pretty big feet, but I don't think that one is going to fit. See, this is why I love Texas. The whole place is one giant adventure. All right, guys. This whole day's video has been filmed in between coughs from me. I probably should have just taken a day to rest, but I was just a little too excited about being in Texas. For right now, though, I think I've done my booty. Time to find a hotel and sleep well. See you all tomorrow on Route 66. Now that's what I call backseat driving.